and welcome. My name is Angela Davis and I'm the Form Quilter. Today we're going to talk about curves, and I know curves can be intimidating because I'm intimidated by them. And the last time I did a curve was a very long time ago, and I did it once or twice and I never touched them again. But I decided that the only way to learn is by challenging myself. So I discovered while working on these pieces right here, tips to help you make a nice curve on your block. And this is a Drunkard's Path block, and it can be laid out in many different ways. So let's get started. I began with tracing my template onto my fabric. And I'm just using a nice fine tip pen to do this because this is going to be my cutting line. I traced it and I layered my fabric 2 layers on top of each other so that I can cut 2 pieces at a time. I layered my darker fabric 2 layers at a time, and I traced my template. And once I finished tracing, I cut that shape out as well. Once you have all your pieces drawn and cut out, what we're going to do is we're going to fold our pieces in half. And in this way, we're going to find our center. So I'm just going to fold it in half, and I'm going to finger press. And I'm going to do that with each piece, and I'm going to use a pencil to mark on the inside of the seam allowance right where that center is. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other piece. Now I'm going to snip just little snips along that inside curve of my larger piece, and I'm only doing it to the inside curve piece. Now with right sides facing, I'm going to match up those drawn lines, and that way I know that each piece is centered, and I'm going to pin it right there at the center. I'm also going to make sure that my points on both of my pieces are lined up, and that's to help keep both pieces straight. Now what I want to do is I want to take my straight sides and I want to match them up. I want to match up those corners and I want to match up those straight sides so that they match up, and I'm going to put a pin right there to hold that end in place. And I'm going to do that with each side. Once I have both sides pinned, I'm going to pin the rest of my edges together. And in this way, my fabric doesn't shift. And when I made those little clips in that one piece, that helps ease the fabric because I'm stitching on the curve. Once I start sewing, I'm going to remove my pins as I come up to them. But I want to make sure that I stitch right up to them, put my needle down, and take the pin out. And when I do, I'm going to readjust that top fabric and move it out of the way to help prevent any puckering. I like to press starting in the corner where the small piece is, and I'm pressing toward the outside piece. And that seems to make a nice flat, smooth block. I also decided to try stitching the pieces where my small piece is on top. So I lined up the top piece in the middle, matching up my markings just like I did before. And now I'm lining up my edges so that my sides are even. I'm starting to sew, and as I sew, I'm stitching up to the pin, but I'm not sewing over the pin. And now I'm adjusting as I go along just to make sure everything is lined up nicely.
on my 1/4 inch, and I'm actually sewing a scant 1/4 inch. I'm going to sew to the halfway point, and then I'm going to stop with my needle down. I'm going to take out the pin, and now I'm going to line up the bottom with the top side edges, and I'm going to pin those in place to keep them secure. And now I'm going to put the presser foot down and continue to sew from the halfway point to the end of the curve. When I pressed the small piece toward the large piece, and this helped keep the seam nice and flat. And I noticed that by stitching the small piece to the top with the top piece on the bottom, the feed dogs helped ease in the fullness from that larger piece. So it kept things smoother and had a lot less puckers. So now you have 2 options of stitching.
Now that you know those 5 tips, I hope you're going to give this block a try. It really is a lot of fun, and it's not as intimidating as you think it is. Please enjoy the Drunkards path. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up and a like and a share, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more videos. And remember, why sleep when you can sew? Bye.